Hello everybody and welcome to WLTV. I am your host, Gary Vaynerchucked. So, wine. That's what we taste here. That's what we do. Let's get right into it. I've got 4 wines today that have been personal Gary Vaynerchucked favorites in the past. I've got a lot of emails saying, hey Gary, you always have these shows and it's really educational, but all the wine sucks, so I'm not getting anywhere. Well, here's the reality. I picked 4 wines today that I've loved in the past. Loved. And so hopefully they're all showing well again. They've been open for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. These are all big, powerful wines. They probably deserve decanting, but I can't find any right now. And more importantly, they've been open for long enough, and I think they'll show the pedigree that they deserve. Again, I'm tasting from a tasting standpoint, not from a drinking standpoint. And obviously from a drinking standpoint, the decanter comes in so much more. Any cahoots, let's get into the first wine. Numero uno is the Domaine Ponte Michele NTN Chateauneuf de Pape 2003. The NTN Gonnet is the top Ponte Michele wine. I'm going to pour a little bit here into my trusty glass. A little bit different of a glass today. Compensating for something, I guess. Here we go. Huge nose. I mean, just really, really powerful. Put almost my whole head in this glass. A little bit of raspberry. Getting a very serious mocha flavor on the nose, which is quite nice. Chateauneuf de Papes are really hot. The 2003 vintage was a very hot vintage, so the wines are very ripe and extracted, a lot of alcohol and a lot of fruit. Very controversial vintage. 93 points RP, Robert Parker for all you fans at home, and a great scored wine. $46, a complete steal. 60 at every other store. Yeah, home run. I wouldn't go as high as RP 93. Maybe I'll go 91 and 92. But I love this wine. There is heat. There is definitely alcohol. The finish is very silky smooth. A lot of cherry. Definitely mocha. Mocha is definitely the word of the day for this wine. So if you're a fan of that flavor profile, you will adore this wine. Great mid-palate structure. I love Chateauneuf de Papes. You know, the Syrah, the Carignan, the Grenache. All these amazing Rhone flavors. This is a winner. I'm going to say it's a buy. 91.6 points. Let's move on. Palta, 2003, from Chile. This is a big-time wine that has gotten accolades year after year. 94 points from the Wine Spectator. Really dark color. Pitch black, really. Purple, ruby, magooby, whatever that means. But really, really great color. Massive nose. What is that? Believe it or not, there's a little bit of hazelnut on the nose. That's the first thing I get, which is very awkward for a red wine. Get a little bit of espresso. I did not have a coffee today, just so you know. So I'm using coffee terms today for some reason, but definitely black currant and other things of that nature. A little bit of cork in here. Don't be scared of the cork if it ever gets in your wine. Just drink it. It's really small. Don't be scared. Massive cherry flavors. Blackberry for sure. Little boysenberry for all your kids at home that like that. Yeah, structured wine. You know, actually, I'm slightly disappointed with this wine. I don't love it. It's what's hurting me is that the mid-palate flavor to the finish, which is that middle flavor you're getting right to the last thing you taste, is a little soft and not as complex or rich for a wine of this nature. Given that it's a $54 bottle of wine, I've seen this for at least $150 on most top wine lists. So it's a little expensive for me for what it's showing. I don't know. I'm gonna score this an 89 plus 90, 91. I'm not going to recommend this wine today on this bottle. I've had it several other times, and now thinking back in my mind, and Michel Rolland is the assistant or consultant to this winery. All the pedigrees there. I don't find this effort to be of that caliber. You know, the best bottles I've had, I think I've scored mentally a 91, 92. This is going to be an 89 plus. I don't know. I'm just not. It's a great fruit bomb. It's got a lot of flavor, but it's just not complex or interesting enough for me to give it the score of that, that high of a score. So, let's move on. Jacob Franklin 2001 Napa Valley Cabernet. This is made by the wonderful people from Elise, who make those great Zinfandels and those Marisoli cabs that have gotten 95, 96 points. Jacob Franklin, only 14 barrels made. Quick story. Went to a Jets playoff game against the Raiders in 2001. Stopped at Jacob Franklin for a few minutes, the Elise Vineyard Winery. I saw the wine. I had no idea what it was. I've never seen it before. I asked the guy, can I get it for the store? The wines are amazing. I'd really like to sell them. He said, no one will ever sell these wines retail as long as I live. He was wrong. I was right. I'm pumped. Let's taste the wine. Purple, black color. I was really honored a couple years ago, a couple years ago when they emailed me from Elise and said, hey, would you like to buy some cases? Given that story I just told you, I was really ecstatic. The quality of wine is immense. The wine is expensive, and it's a very serious wine. Let's give it a whirl and taste. This is serious juice. 2001, as we all know, is an amazing vintage. Even Eric knows that. He was just nodding. Napa Valley, what else could we ask for? But here's what I love about this wine. This is Bordeaux. This wine tastes much more to me like a Chateau Latour or maybe even a Chateau Lafite than a California wine like a Caymus or a Beringer Reserve Cab. It's very structured. It's got amazing notes of clove, a little bit of mint, hints of espresso again on this wine, but really obvious chocolate and a lot of black currant, purple kind of blueberries, real good ones, you know, the ones you really like from like Whole Foods or something. I mean, it's really explosive on the palate. I adore this wine. This wine is loaded. I mean, awesome complex finish, real tannins, real wine. And I would tell you this, I know I've scored this 94 on the official score on the website. That was about a year ago. I'm going to bump this up to 95 points. This is a home run. And if you've never had this wine, please find a way to do it. You can buy it from us, but I know it'd be much cooler if you went to the winery and went to Elise in Napa Valley, knocked on the door and said, let me try that Jacob Franklin. Hoffman Lane Vineyard, single vineyard, extraordinary stuff. This is a total under-the-radar wine. All your wine geek friends don't know about this. You need to seek out this bottle of wine. It's a home run. And especially coming off the Clos Palta, that Spectator gave 94, there's no comparison. None. Let's move on. Massey. The Sergio Allegri Amarone. This is a very spectacular Amarone. This is the 99 vintage. I'm a huge Amarone buff. Who doesn't like dried raisins? You know, but on all seriousness, this is a 92-point scored wine, a wine that I've ordered probably 3 or 4 times on lists in New York City. I'm just a big fan of this wine, and I hope it's showing well. It's classic nose, you know, tar, leather. You know what this smells like? This is going to get very weird, and I know I'm going to get at least 5 emails about this. When I moved to Edison, New Jersey, when I was 7 years old, they were still paving all the roads. And do you know when they pave tar or asphalt, and it's really hot, they get those little bubbles that come out? Well, I used to walk around and pop them and then taste it. Now, I know, Mom, I know, but I used to taste that, and it was a very interesting flavor. And you know what? That's what this smells like, kind of tastes like when I've had it in the past. I've always thought about that, and it's probably one of the reasons I brought it out today, because I wanted to use that analogy today. I mean, it's up there with wet rock, but it's exactly that flavor. So I would call this an asphalt wine. Doesn't that sound yummy? But really, it's got an amazingly interesting chocolate-covered raisinets. This smells like raisinets, 100%. Smell this wine and tell me I'm wrong. I guarantee you'll lose. This smells exactly like a mix between raisinets and asphalt. Great juice. I mean, it's got that residual sugar that Amarones have. It tricks people. Sugar is a tricky little thing. But, you know, it's dry. Don't get me wrong. It's not a dessert wine. But it's got great residuals of fruit and a little bit of an obvious kind of, almost like a peanut oil kind of flavor. It's really interesting. It's got a lot of exotic flavors. I taste almost, it makes me think of Hawaii. A little tropical kind of, you know, almost like a coconut shell aspect to it. It's got a really tropical wild flavor profile, which I really enjoy. You can drink it by itself. So, yeah, no doubt, this is a fantastic bottle of wine. So, let's go to the comments. We're going to do comments again. I'm going to answer all your questions that I can today, and let's get right into it. So, Tony says, Gary, I have a geeky question for you, but not wine geeky. I live in California and was stunned by the tour of Wine Library. Incredibly huge store. I was trying to find the actual building using Google Earth, but couldn't find anything of your address or the vicinity that looked anything like the building we saw, even though I did find a Taco Bell next door. Is that a new building? And if not, what is Google Earth doing? Tony, we tricked Google Earth! I'm just kidding. They're that much more powerful than Wine Library TV. The reality is, it is a new building. Even though it took 3 years to build, it's finally done and we're thrilled with it. I appreciate the comments of the store. We're very proud. My dad did an amazing job GCing this project, and we're very proud of what we think is easily the best looking wine shop in America, maybe the world. So Google Earth will hopefully update soon enough, and we'll be on the map. But as of now, you can actually see the old Burger King that's next to the Taco Bell that basically is the building we tore down. So take another quick look. It's pretty cool. We've got a couple shots of it here too. Next question. Bill Ip says, making his second appearance, 2 for 2, Bill Ip, you're going to go to the Hall of Fame. His question is, well, his first answer is, thanks for answering my question. By the way, what was on the table in front of you? Yesterday you may have noticed I had something over here. It was a little trick that I was playing on you guys. It was a bunch of brown bags, and the reason they were there is an upcoming episode will be blind, and that's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to have to believe me. I haven't done a blind tasting mainly because I could cheat, and you wouldn't know if I really knew. But I promise you I'm going to do an honest to goodness, positively honest and fair blind tasting in the next couple days. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope I don't look like an idiot. Let's move on to question number 3. Question number 3 from Doug G says, great show again. I know. You were talking about age today, and I was wondering what your thoughts are on aging California, Washington State Cab Merlots. Do you feel they will last as long as people give them credit for? Ironic! Most people I know say California and Washington State wines won't age. But in your group of friends, Doug, I guess they'd say they will. I am of the fame that thinks the wines will age. I believe the people that say these wines won't age are snobby, French-loving wine drinkers who think that they don't have any Bryant family and Harlan and Colgin in their cellar and want to just bash them because they're, upfront fruit. I've tasted a lot of 95 vintage wines, and here's where I'm going to really show my wine knowledge. Anybody watching this that really knows anything about California wines knows that 94 and 97 really got all the accolades. But we all know, the hardcore guys, that 95 is the vintage. The wines were so much more structured and had so much more tannins. Go back to your cellars, folks, if you have any, and drink some of your high-end 95 cabs. Insignia 95 blows away 94. Dominus, on and on and on. The 95s really show the structure and the ability of the California wines to really age. As for Washington State, a little bit less. I think the coming vintages will. But yes, they will age. I mean, this is just banter that people are trying to bash American wines for no good reason. Are there some fake wines that fall apart? Absolutely. But you can't just say, all these do that, or all the guys do that. That's not what America's about. And there's a lot of California wines that will age. So let's move on to the final question. Question 4. Bruce says, hey Gary, was really hoping you would answer my question on the insect nose of the Barolo yesterday. Bruce, I did say insects, didn't I? That's one of those things where my mind goes crazy and I just think back to childhood days. I ate a couple worms and this, that, and the other thing, so there was obviously some sort of flavor there between a beetle or a firefly or a lightning bug that made me have that little aspect on a Barolo. It's that terroir love that I love to refer to and always mispronounce. But the reality is this, it was just kind of a weird little flavor that I couldn't really pinpoint, so I just used insects. It was kind of fun. Finally, I got an email today from my good friend Gene M. Gene says, since there's a new Wine Library TV gang sign that you featured on the last episode, I figure you should end your next episode rapping this little poem. I didn't want to post it in the comments section so people would be surprised. Gene, here we go. My name is Gary V and I like the wine. I taste morning, night, dawn all the time. So write me some comments and I will send them to me, and we'll see you next time on Wine Library TV. I should stick to wine. See you next time.